Hi, welcome to today's video. This morning I came for a walk out with Basil. We had a look around, try and find a couple of suitable spots for this afternoon's painting, and I quite like this one. There's the other one across over there, higher up on the hill, looking through the gap towards Lowpool, which I quite liked, but I've settled on this one, which is at the edge of the woods where we've just walked through. And we're painting on this 40 by 30 MDF panel with a grey acrylic ground colour on it, and I've got my usual palette which we'll go through in a minute. It's about 2:30 in the afternoon, so I'll probably get about an hour and a half maximum painting today before the light goes. So we better get on with it, haven't we? Quick run through our palette which we're using today. Look at that lovely reflection of those tree branches up there. Amazing. I love that. So okay, we've got our terps, a mixture of stand oil and terps in there, so I use as my medium, homemade one. Titanium white, cadmium yellow, lemon yellow, cadmium red, and magenta, Indian red, raw sienna, raw umber, violet, ultramarine blue, manganese blue. No cobalt today, but that's where it normally goes. I've got an ivory black and a sap green, which I've added today because we're looking at quite a greenish landscape with that sort of lovely orange area there. So yeah, this was all laid out. I went painting Saturday with a friend of mine, Andrew Field, artist from Warwickshire, from my hometown Stratford, and so this is all a lot of these colours were already left, like the cadmium red. I haven't had to add anything to that because I already had quite a lot on there anyway ready, so it lasts for 3 or 4 days. And there's my the brushes I'll be using today, and there's my bits and pieces. So yeah, better get cracking before this light goes. Got some marks, old paint on here, which doesn't really matter. Let's just get something down before this light goes. So just going to mix up a little sort of raw sienna and violet. Let me think, what do we want here? So we want this tree to sort of give us that sort of edge. That's going to be sort of like that. That's quite nice. We can use that pathway like that. Can come across there. Let's just get something in there for a minute. Something like that. We have some trees up there then. Something like that. That's going to be that wooded area up there. So this is just in the paint with terps just here. I've got that, made that too warm. Quite like it though. It's quite nice. We're working really fast today because that light will drop pretty quick. Scrape it back. Scrape that back. Put some of that down there. That's sap green and cadmium yellow. So I need to run that further across than what's actually there. So we're just getting something down. Let's get some colour in for these trees at the back. We've got like an Indian red. One thing you've got to remember is when you use your rag to clean your brush, pick a bit that's clean on the rag, not a dirty bit. I've seen that happen so often, especially when you want to use clean colours. I've seen people do that a lot. You go try and get a clean colour and they're cleaning the brush on a dirty piece of the rag. So that's something to bear in mind. I don't know if it's not really very accurate. There's more red in that. I'm going to put a little bit of medium in with this now. That's better. I want that to sit on the top there. This is the blocking. We've done about 10 minutes painting, and we've just laid this paint in really thinly mixed with terps. I'm using terps on outdoors, so it's no problem outside in the fresh air. And that's what we've got so far. So we've blocked in the whole board, giving me some rough ideas of what's there, really thin paint. And that's what it does. The terps separates the paint when you paint with it very thin like that. I'm going to start thickening it up. So I scrape it back and I'll start thickening it up now. That's quite a nice start. See that field that swings across. Something like that, and then just in here there's a few hints. So that's like, yeah, here's a few hints of that poking through those trees there. We've got a lovely strip of green, bright green, just catching in here, just where that field edge is. So what I'll do now, I will just place in this area above there with this sort of violet and raw umber. So that might then help that stand out a bit more then. Let's do raw sienna and violet for this bit. Yeah, it's slightly different colour. So this needs to be a lot cooler in here. So that's a cool field, just hinting at that as it runs through here like this. Something like that. Let's stand back, have a quick look. So we've got that's the top field as it comes through. It's like something like this, and you've got these shadows then that come across like this. And it just leaves areas where the sun goes through the gap. Some hedgerows sort of down here. Let's put some of these colours on here. Quite a big area over there that is quite light. And that cuts into that. That cuts through there and drops back down. And in there. And get some of this in some areas here as well. Cadmium red in there, I think. Let's get some more umber in there just to take it back more towards the colour of the trees. Actually, I'm going to have to get in here with a bit of scraping, I think, in a minute. Let's just scrape a little bit of this off, actually. That's the branches at the top. There's not much difference in tone there, very little difference in tone from the edge of those woods to the ones at the back. Let's just put a few darker areas in. It might just help us to see the colours in the field a bit better then. That just needs to come in here like this. Okay, this is where we're at the moment. Got some more colour in there, pretty close to what it is. It's not 100% accurate at all because I'm rushing. So I know the light's dropping quite quickly, but what I wanted to get in was that area there, which, let's have a look, see if we can zoom in on that a little bit. There's an area, you see there's my big fat finger in there. just at the edge of that field is there was a light area, and I wanted to get that in before it disappears. Let's zoom back out to this now. So I've got that in there at the edge, and just roughed in some colours for the woods there. Not really done anything at all here yet. And I'll just give myself an idea how cool that colour is in the field here. That won't be too difficult to do at all. If once the light's gone, I've got to concentrate on all this section here while the light is there and the shadows are being cast across here. Once that sun drops across and not illuminating this anymore, then I can continue with this, because this is already in the shade, so this won't change at all. Well, that's the plan anyway. Get something in here now, up against that. Take that up to the top, I think, like that. It's like a sort of brambles and stuff in there, brambles and ivy and all that sort of stuff. So I'm putting quite a bit of medium with this paint in here. Just so it sits on the top. No, I'm just going to darken that bit up there. I need to do the same over here now. Let's get some of these in. So they go right through. Come across like that. I hope you can see what I'm doing now. The light's sort of gone off quite a bit. Right, that's all right. Let's just try and I'm just going to flick that rigger around. So flick the bristles randomly around. And just sort of hint at some of the trees and things that are up there. That's quite nice actually. I'll pull that colour through there so that can join in with that. That's quite nice. Let's just put a bit of that up there. Oh, I quite like that actually. That's like a magenta-y type colour in there. Let's get these areas finished off. We get onto the foreground. These are like where the tops of the trees are. That's quite nice. You see, I just quite like that, the way that's just hints at the trees up there. And I've got these areas here. Now this is where this colour is quite nice for in here. Let's just run this like this and put some of these sort of reddish, purplish colours in around here. You see the sun is dropping down now. It's nearly 4 o'clock, and we are December the 20th, I think. So yeah, that's where we're at. A closer look. I've just got to race against time now to get this foreground sorted. I just need to put some more colours out. I've just run out of my lemon yellow up there, and the raw umber's looking a bit sparse. That's what the palette looks like. Right mess. I think I'll scrape that clean, chuck a bit of that onto here maybe, and then I will crack on. Next I want to get these fence posts in before I call it a day. Let's just get a bit more colour into this bit. This area here is full of lots of different colours, but so I'm just going to push and scrape the paint around down here. Now I'm going to scrape it around a bit. That's where that was being picked up by the sun, like that. There's a little bit in there as well. There's some hints of these colours being picked up in there as well. Well, not as many as that. Let's just get some of these fence posts in before we go. Nice fence post just about here. Fence posts, concentrate. Another one about here. I'll just put one sort of here. Something like that. Okay, this is as far as I'm going to get tonight, because well, today it's going to turn into night pretty soon, because the light's gone quite well, the sun has gone down and the light has gone now. It is actually darker than it looks on the camera. There we are. I'm going to have to finish this off at home, I think, or in the studio. That's as far as we got. I started putting in the fence posts along here. I put a couple in here as they are, just there, look. I took them out because I didn't like them, so I'm going to have to do something with that. I might let it dry a day or two and then just finish it off. So just show you what I've done. As you can see, the paint's quite wet, and I've added this cadmium yellow in with the sap green here, look. And oh, that's quite a nice red. I didn't notice I put that in there. Where's that? Oh yeah, I like that. That's where we've got so far. So we'll do a bit more of that inside, I think, just to finish it off, and then we'll see what we've got. Put it all together, make a video out of it. Okay, so that's as far as we've got. Light's going now, so I'm going to scrape this palette off, pack up and go home, walk back up that track before it gets too dark. So we'll sort this out in the studio or at home on my French easel, and we'll video that as well, and you'll see what I've done to make it a better painting and a finished painting that I'm happy with, because I can't really do any more now because it's going to get dark quite quickly. The sun has gone down, and I'm going to have a walk back up in the dark, aren't I? So, and thanks for watching. All right, and yeah, see you later. So that's what we ended up with when we brought this back home. It obviously needs a bit more work, so I'm just going to leave it to dry and work on it again over Christmas just to finish it off, and I'll post that in the next video.